You guys can hear me. If anyone's there, I'm coming. I'm just updating this thumbnail and posting the link. Just sharing right now, and I'll be up. I'll be coming in. Just sharing right now, and I'll be up. Be coming in. Sometimes you gotta tell the truth, boom boom. Sometimes you gotta tell the truth, boom boom. Sometimes you gotta tell the truth, no matter what, no matter how mad they get, and when they laugh at you all day today, everyone on Facebook is laughing at me because I said Steve Bannon was Q. No one said, here's why you're wrong. All they could do is ridicule me. Yeah, I am live, and I'm subjecting to anyone in the lobby with my erratic songs while I paste this. I've now pasted this to Facebook. And now I'm going to paste this to Twitter. See, it'd probably be more exciting if I was singing instead of telling you what I was doing. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. We're gonna talk about some truth. Yeah. We're gonna talk about some truth. Yeah. I'm live. Let's talk. How about that? We'll just say that. Then we can get this show started. Tweedles. You know what? I should have. Well, this is the best I can do because we got to get talking about this. We got to get talking about this, y'all. We got to get talking about this. Okay, let's see. Here we go. It's time for curtains, I tell you. It's the time for the curtain. You're getting ready to open the curtain up and show everybody. And meanwhile, today they were telling you, James, you need to comb your hair. You need to wear a shirt, they said. They said I needed to wear a shirt, like a nice shirt. And I'm like, yeah. The thing is that the shirt I was wearing was a nice shirt. I actually bought it just so I would have a nice shirt. So it's like, yeah, it's confusing. Anyway, here we go. Hi, guys. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to the live stream. Yes, I'm doing this again. I just did it last night. It could be a dud. I don't know. I need to practice this stuff, though. I've washed my hair. I hope that's better. This is the same shirt from last night, but I'm doubling down. This is a nice shirt. I have this shirt for you guys. I would normally not go out and buy a shirt, but I don't want to distract you from the important things that I want that I want us to talk about, that I want us to look at. So thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. And I hope I'm going to try and make this entertaining too. I'm kind of flipping out right now, to be honest with you. I'm a little bit flipping out. Let me first start off by saying my fancy light that I bought has broken. It used to be over here and it broke today. So this is the best I have lighting wise. I should have drank water before, sorry. Water's good. This is my pill, by the way. I'm not a black pill or a red pill or a blue pill. I'm a water. I'm your water. How about that? We're gonna drink some water tonight. So there's this guy named Praying Medic. We don't actually know his name. That's the beauty of being anonymous. You can basically just scratch, start over with whoever you are or whatever you're doing. That's the beauty of being anonymous. No one has to hold you accountable. And when someone does hold you accountable, like say me, all Praying Manic has to do is just block you. And he's one of several that blocked me. Full disclosure, I am a pretty blocked dude. Like it's like Stephen Molyneux was like the first guy that blocked me. That's because I tried to demonstrate that the 3 principles of mind control, he was exhibiting 2 of them. He did not like that at all. And I don't even have anything against him. I actually thought that he was going to reward me with like, hey, good job. You're catching on. You've been learning from me, is how I thought Stephen Molyneux would take that comment. He did not take it that way. And to be fair, I am probably what you would call a socially autistic, that's probably the best phrase for it. If we were to look back in my past, you would see some situations like this that have repeated themselves over and over, where I have said something and that has been unacceptable to someone else on the other side. Praying Medic is just one. This is not at all meant to call him out, because I can't call him out. I don't know the fucker's name. And if he does something wrong, I have no way of writing him a stern letter or exposing him and saying, hey, this guy is really causing you damage. He has the benefit of not having that problem. That's what Twitter does. It gives you a beautiful platform where you can do that. So Praying Medic has posted that he had no idea that Project Looking Glass is a device that provides access to other dimensions, making possible viewing potential future timelines. A nice rabbit hole if you have the time. Of course, he's referencing Q's post, Project Looking Glass, going forward in order to look back, Q. I don't mean to sound like a smartass, but it's really upsetting me. And I need to move on past Q. I realized that we talked about a lot of stuff last night. Q was only a part of that. In fact, it was only 38 minutes, so we did pretty good. But what I'm seeing is a mass psychological op that's being run on you. And it hit me really fast when I started considering the idea that CERN is Project Bluebeam. Now, let me just get to the start of here, because I'm going to try and build this point with you guys in the best way that I can. And I've got so many different threads on this. It actually turns out, guys, that I've been warning about dimensionalism since last year. And the reason why I was warning about them is because of, excuse me, I had to pull all this up. I don't like it when I'm not looking right at the camera. It doesn't feel like I'm connected. Now I have this up. I can kind of, this all, anti-dimensionalism started last year with me. When I wrote about the psyop of special relativity, the thing that stuck out the most to me was how easy it is to manipulate math, to take something like math and use it to lie to somebody, to manipulate a mind. And special relativity is the perfect example of that. Special relativity actually turned around and took a scientific measurable experiment and said to it, I'm sorry, but you are no longer valid because time and space are warped. And the measuring device that you would try and use to dictate the length of said object is a farce. And the actual reality is inside my notebook, my relativity notebook. Oh, but see, it's really complicated. I don't know if you'll be able to follow it all. It's like, it's got circles and arrows and paragraphs on the back of each one and behind each one and all that stuff, you know, like Analysis Restaurant thing. It's special relativity was sold for one reason. People didn't want to be called stupid. I fell for it. I am not here to say that I am an intelligent man. I don't think that if you were to list my skill sets, I don't think intelligence would be like super far up there. I feel free to clip that out and use that as a proof of me being an idiot, because I just said that on camera. But I'm just being honest about people will call me intelligent sometimes, but I think what they're actually perceiving is that I'm able to emotionally simulate pretty well. Like someone else, I'm able to emotively simulate. I think my writing kind of proves that. And because of that, I have the ability to emotionally simulate kind of further than other people do, only because I kind of obsess about it. And coming back to the original stream, because I don't have that governor that, hey, don't tell Stephen Molyneux that he just met the first two blueprints of mind control. Like, you know, just don't do that. Or if you do that, don't expect him to hit like and retweet you and be like, hey, this guy gets it. Because in my mind, that was the looking glass that I had gone through. I've learned a lot about emotionally simulating messiahs. Messiahs were a new thing for me. I'm talking about the thought leader messiahs. I will also go ahead and pin this now because I'll probably forget. I am probably in that category now of thought leader messiah. I don't mean to promote myself, but because of that, you should be just as wary of my fucking ass as you should anyone else. But I think that's why you guys follow me, because if you guys follow me, you're already pretty much, you know, you're in the dregs of the truth engine here. You know, you guys know I'm going to spit black oil on you any second now. And, you know, but you're still like, yeah, man, bring it. Let's get some work done. Let's get this build pump clean. Let's get this tranny going. I'm talking about transmission. And let's purr through the water. Submarine talk. I don't know if there's trannies on submarines, but anyway. So special relativity, the complexity of it creates a pyramid, a social pyramid. And that's what Einstein was, of course. He was the figurehead. And because he was lying right up front, just like Epstein, he ended up putting himself on a pedestal where he's relying on the lie to continue. If you can understand that this isn't like a rare thing that happens here, or, oh, it happened here. This is a professional racket. Excuse me. Snake oil is a term that most of you know. And it's part of this racket. It's what this racket, it's how this racket works. And black magic is the deepest, murkiest, blackest black magic there is. It is a snake oil like no other snake oil. It is a complex, deep lie. And it would only work if it was ridiculous. It would only work if it was so over the top. And I'm going to give you an example. Some of you listening to this might think that the Apollo 11 moon landing was legit. And for that, this proof isn't just not going to work on you. So I won't dwell on it too long. But the Apollo 11 program is the perfect, actually the entire Saturn rocket program is the perfect example of beautifully well-placed black magic that has the blatant camouflage. If you remember, I spoke about that a few streams back. This blatant, it has the same blatant camouflage. It's so big, it becomes very difficult for anyone to come close to doubting it in any way, shape, or form. I'm doing a quick check. Everybody can hear me okay? Yep, everything's looking good. All right. So Apollo 11 is the perfect blatant lie. It's a black magic blatant lie that's put in front of the public. It's so big that they were able to launch 32 giant flaming dildos into space that never actually made it into space, that always landed out to sea where you couldn't see them. Not once has there ever been just a full video shot from start to finish of any of that stuff. These are brilliantly implemented black magic spells that are placed on you for a variety of reasons. And these reasons aren't even that crazy. I mentioned this yesterday, so I don't want to go too deep into it. But there's a necessity to lying to sheep. A rancher will definitely lie to the cows. He will definitely lie to the cows. He wants those cows to have a certain mentality to them, and he's willing to do whatever it takes to get there. The space program is one of those things. It's an overarching ceiling that makes you think, I'm a part of something much larger. At the same time, I am a very small piece. I don't have the authority to understand fancy things like special relativity, because I was told that the yardstick shrinks or expands based on space-time. So I'm already losing my own authority, as it were, over the environment. So Apollo 11, the entire Saturn rocket program, is exhibit A, okay, of a lie that's so big, it just becomes impossible to comprehend it not being true. There's a safety in that. A narc will do better by one-upping this, and then one-upping that, and one-upping that. It's important that you realize that these lies are giants with shoulders, and new liars come, and they stand on top of those shoulders. That's why each lie gets bigger. It's magnified. These are magnificently, maximally, magnanimously, gigantic, maybe not magnanimously, lies. It's a Tower of Babel just on lies. And Apollo 11 is just one example. You guys know this, JFK. That wasn't a small lie. It was a really big ass lie. But guess what? That actually was small because of World War II. Oh my God, what a big lie. That was a huge lie. But that wasn't the only lie. You know this. You know this. The Civil War. That was such a big lie. So you see the pattern. None of us should be surprised when I get to CERN. None of you should be surprised. And all of you will be. Sorry, I'm speaking for you. But if you're like me, you still are surprised. You will be surprised every time. Why? Because you're a caring, sane individual that's in touch with their emotive transmission in their body. Bless you. It's because you're not a psychopath that this is going to fool you every time. No one would plant such a gigantic fucking lie in the middle of everything, in front of kids and everything. No one. That's what normal, like, healthy people think. And that's what we need healthy people to keep thinking. We want that. We want us to continue to be fooled. We just want to harden our discernment a little bit. We just want to be aware of it, but still maintain our sacred garden, this ability that we all have to telepathically connect through emotions. Because we're the only real people left. And the only way we can do that, our CAPTCHA, you know what CAPTCHA is, right? Where you prove you're not a robot. Our CAPTCHA is what I just said. It's our ability to emote to each other, our ability to connect. The fact that two of my homies posted stuff right after I posted this CERN thing that was just like, right on, James. Here's a diagram you need, and here's a paragraph you need. That is the emotive connection that proves we're still human, that proves we're still in this. Most are gonna get lost. Most already are. And it's gonna get worse for them. When I say worse, I don't think that necessarily affects your reality, unless you keep expecting them to not be getting worse. And then you're in for a hell of a time, because I don't think that's going to happen. I am at a new crossroads. I am. You may not be, but I am at a new crossroads when it comes to truth. I'm reaching out to people and I'm saying, hey, can you push this, or can we talk about this? And it's just nothing. We're proceeding on with this narrative, and Q had just now one-upped it. And I'm getting ready to get to that. Sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm getting ready to get to it. I'm just not yet. That's all. Civil War. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. What would 4 be? 4 be JFK. 5. And I'm missing a ton in here. You know that. 9/11. 6. CERN. These are just the ones that probably all you guys would agree with. Civil War, World War I, World War II, JFK, 9/11, and CERN. These are 6, what's the word? These are 6 chisel cuts into a solid rock. And that solid rock is your sanity. It's your sanity, my sanity. It's our collective zeitgeist sanity. And this is how you split a rock. We're going to talk about split right now. We're going to talk about split. We're going to talk about it. Before we do, because I've been talking a lot, let's go back to Mr. Praying Medic. Beautiful name, right? It's got the word praying in there. It's got the word medic in there. How could you not follow a praying medic? Who would be so evil to pose as a praying medic? I'm not even saying he's evil. I'm saying he's serotoninally, dopaminally motivated. And that's what happens when you evacuate. You evacuate to the machine. You drain all your ego because everyone told you to. And then your morals just don't work anymore. They're not very loud. You've been told that your pride is a bad thing. You've been told that your ego is a bad thing. So you can walk around and say whatever the fuck you want to say, and no one's going to hold you accountable. In fact, it's going to be profitable. Hell, you're going to get 3,993 likes just today. Just in 7 a.m. This guy, very profitable. Being a Messiah is a very profitable business. And for him to keep up on top of the profit, he's got to bring it. He's got to bring it, just like Beyonce. This is the balding white male. I'm balding too. This is the balding white male Beyonce right here. He is bringing it to you. He's bringing an oscillation. It doesn't have to be true. It has to be catchy. And he knows what to do. He's going to follow his cue. Get it? His cue. So Q, Project Looking Glass, going forward in order to look back. I have no idea that Project Looking Glass is a device that provides access to other dimensions and makes possible viewing potential future timelines. A nice rabbit hole if you have the time. And yes, you have the time. Because you are enjoying the show and you are watching this whole thing. And now it is bigger. This is bigger than a satanic temple. I don't care if it's a fake satanic temple. Are you kidding me? Project Looking Glass. I feel like this means that we're losing. What I mean by that is that I can't, the truth can't compete with Praying Medic here. It can't compete with Q. It's too juicy. Not only is it too juicy, but it's moving so fast that honesty just can't keep up. I'm still trying to tell people that the Satanic Temple is fake. I'm still getting in arguments with people saying, so what are you saying? The island doesn't exist? And it's just like, no, that's how long honesty takes, because honesty doesn't feel good. At least not when you're comparing it to all these fucking lies. It takes a long time for honesty to set in, and that's their advantage. You just got to keep doling out. You just got to keep doling it out, doling it out. This is too juicy. It's so next level that there's no time to even consider what was on the last level. There's no time to even consider the boring satanic temple on a tropical island. We're talking about dimensions here, buddy. It's just moving too fast for honesty to keep up. We are looking at a literal Lord of the Flies, but instead of children, it's false messiahs. And that's what Praying Medic is. And that's what Q is. And that's what he's doing right now with Project Looking Glass. Last night, I got on the feed, we were asking questions, and there was at least 4 questions about Project Looking Glass. And earlier that day, someone had sent me a message. And it's only when I see that much saturation that I know something's been inserted. Something big has been inserted into the zeitgeist. And people aren't giving me a choice. Just like they're not giving you a choice. You're going to hear about it. And that's what Project Looking Glass is. This strategy of piling on and on over and over again, it's working. It's really successful. It's exactly what Steve Bannon should do. It's exactly what anyone should do who's trying to manipulate people when you have a Smith-Moon Act in place that tells everybody it's okay to do that. Dimensionality is something that I was warning about last year. I was researching reptilians of all things. And reptilians are always pushing this idea of dimensions, of dimensionality. And I think that dimensions are alter programming. If you guys are aware of my work about alters, you'll know that the mind is split. It's splintered. And there's a science to it. This is a lot of Blueprints of Mind Control deals with this. So I don't want to go too much into it. I guess I should do a quick commercial. Sorry, because I know this is important. But this is my book, Blueprints of Mind Control. If you guys were buying this, I could do things with this revenue anyway. And it's a damn good book. Sorry to make you watch that commercial. The reptilians are always pushing this idea of dimensionality. David Wilcox, another messiah, truth messiah, whatever that means, pushes this same idea that there are dimensions, that we are only one of many dimensions. And I want you to understand what through the looking glass really means. Because the looking glass is creating the separate dimension. That's what Alice does. She's whole. Alice begins whole. She lives in her own world, her own universe. There is a single universe that we all share. We want to share this, but we become splintered through trauma. We become splintered through the cutting of the cleavage. Now, all quartz has a, you guys can see, okay, I was already sharing, great. All quartz has a cleavage. It is an angle that each stone has, that if you find that cleavage, you can utilize the physioelectric effect that's built into it. All computer chips, your transistors, your NLP transistors or NPNs or PNPs or whatever, those all have this silicon quartz that's used as, well, it takes pressure and it releases electricity, and vice versa. It's physioelectric. And it only works along the cleavage. There's a certain angle that you need. Think of that cleavage as the looking glass. Think of that cleavage as you, as Alice, inside your entire whole world, looking inside a mirror and seeing another dimension. What's happening is that your pranic, egoic mind, because of the technology of belief, is casting itself through the mirror and creating a whole other world on the other side. Now, that might sound all well and good, but you have to understand that your immanence, your plasma, your real life entity of who you are is this plasmic field in the ether. It's all your cells saying at the same time, I am. And all your cells are in unison, insisting that they are. This is what existence is. When you die, what we call death, is that certain parts of your system have said, I am no more. They have stopped saying I am. Their vibration, the DNA that's telling them what I am means, it's, believe it or not, it's a blockchain of I am. But it just means, well, what do you mean I am? It's like, oh, well, I'm balding. I have green eyes. I have whatever. It's a constant spell of I am. Your cells are vibrating, your essence. But when you're through the looking glass, your belief technology is pouring your ether through obsidian, through a black screen, through a mirror, which is another dimension. And that mirror is usually silver. So you've got silver, you've got obsidian, you have all the elements of spellcraft. Alice, what happens to Alice? She goes fucking nuts, man. She's split. She can't tell if she's big, she can't tell if she's small. Everyone who's supposed to be good, the authority figures are supposed to be good, are psychopathic cannibals. Everyone's obsessed with time. Everyone's obsessed with their own agenda. The entire story, you never actually get to come back to Alice originally. You're always in that dimension. As we believe in reptilians, what we're literally doing is opening our auric field up to a demon that gets to be broadcast and created through a central authority. That authority could be several things. It could be X-Files. It could be David Wilcox. It could be Corey Good. It could be Jordan Sather. It could be Praying Medic. It could be CERN. These are devices that are here to trap your belief. They're there to make you think that you're only seeing one dimension. But look deeper. Look deeper at the two. What you've done is you've drawn a line in the world, this one dimension. You've drawn a line because you're tired of the dissonance. You're tired of the lies. And once you drew that line, you decided, I don't want to see this anymore. So you cover it up. You cover it up. Then you realize a blanket isn't enough. The lies are too much. I need a box. And you put yourself in a box. And once you're in the box, the hive wants you. It wants you. So you need to become mutable. You need to become two things at once, or four things at once. You need to be able to mute to whatever the hive needs you to be. And if you do that well enough, you'll ascend. This is the ascension program everyone's selling you. So breaking through multi-dimensions is literally splintering the mind and cutting it off from the world. because now you're looking at the world, and if you believe in 5 dimensions, 4 of them are getting your belief, your prana, which is a finite resource. The most precious mana in the world is your belief. That's the collective resource of all your cells saying, I am. You can send that I am wherever you want. But if you're believing in reptilians, if you're believing in the pillars of Orion, if you're believing that star shafts in the pyramid are pointing up to Orion, despite the fact that those star shafts bend 3 times inside the pyramid, you are listening to a false messiah that wants your dimension gone. It wants you off this earth. It wants you out of this reality. When you leave, the most valuable seat in the universe comes open. And all it takes is one butt cheek. If it can get one of your ass cheeks off your throne, your little pelvis is your throne. And if it can get you to slide your ass over on your throne, just one butt cheek, that's enough for someone else to sit there. And that someone else doesn't even have to be a person. That someone else is a machine. It is an oscillation, and I can prove it. I can prove it because this morning, I got 5 messages saying, what is Project Looking Glass? That proves that whoever's going to take that seat is eventually going to be someone who's controlled by the hive, someone who's following that same mantra. This is classic mind control. And because it's so sexy with CERN or whatever else you want to see, most of us aren't going to be able to stop it. Again, I have such a hard time just explaining the Epstein Temple stuff. Every big account is playing along here. The same people that were investigating truth last year, they're pounding drums now. They're not investigating truth. And the reason why is because their chemicals have fermented. They've literally fermented inside their fucking head, and now they're drunk on them. They're drunk on their own serotonin. They can't handle the pale horse being beholded. The pale horse is truth. If the truth got out about all this, everything that they told you for the last year would be a freaking lie. It would end their entire buffet of chemicals. And because of that, because they don't have a strong enough ego to say my reputation is important to me, I don't want to lie, they run with it. That's why Martin is in Texas right now in a suit tweeting about, oh, look how nice I look. I'm the new leader of this movement. That's why Praying Medic is telling you, I had no idea we were looking into interdimensional things to go in the future, to go in the past. Right now, truth is the sexiest, hottest, most amazing, most pure, most talented, most beautiful virgin in white vestal robes you've ever imagined, and these fuckers just threw her into a volcano. And she sizzled away while we watched, going, what the fuck did you just do? That's what's happening right now. And it's not even, this isn't even like bad weather. If you really look back at history, I think so much of us have been in denial that as it's happening, we simply just can't face it. We just can't accept it. So we're just like, everything's fine. Did you hear about Project Looking Glass? Oh, would you like some bread to become smaller or bigger? Trying to do the chrome plate Alice getting bigger, smaller. This is what we're becoming because the lies are too painful. And some of us have been pushing them for too long, and we ferment. Project Looking Glass is mass disassociation. This is a psychological term. You disassociate in trauma. Typically, if someone is raped, they will leave their body as far as they can from the place that was raped. What happens most is victims crawl up above their shoulders. They crawl up their neck like it's a tunnel, and they crawl into the top of their head, and their entire essence is up here because they were raped down here. This is disassociation. And all of us have disassociation in lesser or larger degrees. It's part of us being here in the world, is that we naturally are just going to become disassociated. It's also part of us learning how to seat ourselves better. It's a very valuable exercise. And it's not that we're not supposed to become disassociated. But we also get to see just how much damage it does and just how vorpal it is. This is epigenetic, guys. It has to be epigenetic. You know why? Because if we didn't have epigenetics, we would only be able to echo trauma through our own lifetime. And what makes trauma so fucking painful is that sometimes we have to carry trauma that's not ours. And that burden, the fact that it's not ours, is crucial to your alchemical growth. Because if all of us were just carrying our own trauma, our own baggage, as it were, none of us would feel cheated. And it's only when we feel cheated that we feel despair, that we lose ourselves, that we seek salvation, that we find salvation, that we find an archetype. We raise ourselves through the hero's journey, through the circle. Doesn't give them an excuse, though, to pull this shit, does it? Think mirror is a spell of falling in. You're falling into the pit. You're saying goodbye to yourself. You're replacing yourself with what you're told is true. You have to. Because if you don't, then everything they tell you is going to have to be a lie. And that's just going to be too painful. This is a really, really big spell. I don't think it's negative for me to say most aren't going to survive this. So what is the spell that I'm saying that? I'm talking about CERN. I'm talking about, you're going to forget. I did. I forgot just how big Apollo 11 or Apollo was, because I wasn't like there every day. Like, wow, this is really big. I can't really fathom that $56 million every single day is still going into that. It's still, even today, is still going into that. So none of us get to pretend that the age of fraud in government's over. We have zero evidence to believe that. We have the exact evidence to say the opposite. Fucking Silverstein made $4 billion off 9/11. $4 billion. There is money in this. And why would you need a bigger motivation than money to convince people to build CERN? You've already sold us on special relativity. This is such a blatant, giant lie that there's no way anybody would doubt it. There's no way anybody would try and doubt this thing. It's just too big. No, I'm not accepting it, James. There's no way that liars would have us build a tunnel that deep where, you know, X number of people died just as a natural result, where lifetimes of research and lies would have to be formulated to build this. That there's no way that that would ever happen, is what we're trying to say. And that, guys, that right there, if you feel that, and I hope you do, that is chemical mind control. It's a great opportunity for you to feel that and go, wow, that's what it feels like. Holy shit. Now I know what James means by this. I still can't go here. I'm going to go to sleep. I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm going to think CERN's legit again. I'm going to think Apollo's legit. I have to remind myself. Sometimes it takes till like 2:30 in the afternoon. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Apollo 11's fake. Like, seriously, that's how it goes with me. Do you know how many calories you have to burn to track all these lies like they're fucking radar on a plane? I got shit to do. I can't be an air traffic controller all day to all these lies, remembering okay, which lies are in the air? Okay. That's what it's like right now. And that's the only reason why I'm saying most of us are not going to survive this. Just like some of us didn't survive 9/11. There will be casualties as a result of Looking Glass, and it's already happening. And I'll tell you what struck me so hard, which is why I just did this live stream without any cue, is Project Bluebeam. Guys, this is Project Bluebeam. This is the perfect red carpet to roll out an interdimensional messiah. And if you scroll around, and I can't show you on this because I'm blocked by Pragmatic, I got to go over here and pretend like I'm in Safari. And if you scroll around, you're going to see how many people love this thing. 4,000 of them. And this is just more. Oh yeah, and here's this, and here's this. Oh, look how crazy the sky is. Max Planck. It must be true. All this is nothing but it must be true. It must be true. And you know who they're quoting in here? I'll bet y'all see his name in here somewhere. If you start scrolling down, you start to see, well, who has this information? It's David Wilcock. It's Majestic 12. The same people that blocked me when I asked, can you tell me how you verified the trip code for Q? Because I can't find any information on that. Block. Project Looking Glass is your disassociation program. And once you start to believe in more than one dimension, you have splintered your mind like someone who chopped firewood. You've been split like a log. Happened to Michael Jackson. It happened to Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It happened to Gloria Vanderbilt. It happens to most thoroughbred alters. Look at Jeff Bezos' eyes. Fucker's nuts. These are bloodline alters because the epigenetic trauma is able to pass through the generations. They become easier to geld. Imagine if your child was born circumcised, you wouldn't have to cut his balls off. It's that kind of thing. I think this is it's not speculation. I just can't prove it. This has to happen through deep trauma. And when I say deep trauma, I think we're talking about cannibalism. And if you look at not just Vlad the Impaler, he's actually only one. There's at least four, right? There's that crazy Mary lady. She was a noble woman that was taking housemaids 2 a week for like her entire life, torturing and killing them. Vlad the Impaler was dipping bread in the adrenochrome blood of these people that he would put on the pike. These are trauma addictions. But once you start to cannibalize yourself, the disassociation, the cleavage, the perfect cleavage cut. Do you see what I mean? The trauma of cannibalism. I told myself I wouldn't move on camera, but my legs just don't have the ability to do that. Sorry, I do want to not fidget so much. The clit through just the right hit. If you can imagine trying to split a crystal, not only do you have to get the cleavage right, but you're going to have to hit it in just the right spot. That's how you induce a trauma alter. That's how you implant that seed. That's why the Bush family, that's why George Bush worked so hard to get his own collider in Texas. These people were traded a long time ago. Prescott Bush traded his grandson before he even knew what he would look like. That's how epigenetic trauma works. It's also, good news, it's also how epigenetic wisdom works. We can pass down wisdom just as easily as we can pass down trauma. This, my friends, is the looking glass. This is the looking glass. And if you look through this thing, and if you believe that we're talking to the future through the past, or talking through the past through the future, you now believe in multidimensionality. And you now believe that your world is just one of many. And you know what perfectly fits that narrative? The internet. The internet will open the hole for these multi-dimensions to work better. And what does the internet have? It has a black obsidian looking glass. And you will transport yourself inside of it. And you will not believe that it's its own dimension. Why? Because you're too unbroken in this lie. So they're not trying to get you to believe that. This is a slow roll, guys. Every 15 months, the New World Order invades a new country. Invades or bombs. 15 months. That's just slow enough where you can fool the reptilian brain. Remember, the reptilian brain only functions off novelty. It only, if there's something new, if something's been here, the first time it's seen, it's like, oh shit, what is that? But if I did this for 5 minutes as we're talking, you guys would stop looking at it. It wouldn't become something that's as important because it's not novel, see? And I could prove it because right now you're still, no, James, I'll always see it. I'll always see it. I'll always, oh, gotcha. Do you see how it works? It's the novelty. And that's why the NWO moves so slow. And that's why Praying Medic says, hey, if you have time, take a look in the looking glass. Fall in. They're not trying to win you over personally. They want your DNA tree. They want your blockchain. They want your tree. They don't have to get it from you. They'll wait till you have kids. They'll just plant the seed a little bit more each time. It's no problem. They'll do that. I'm going to check on chat. Make sure. You guys still there? Is anybody listening to me or are you guys talking to yourself? Looks like everybody. All right, cool. So, how do you deal with this spell? Let me pull this back up. It's going to look like a weird mirror until I do this. Here it is. So how do you sell? Keep in mind, guys, all they have is a prop. Right now, all they have is a prop. That's not enough to convince the public. You need something juicy. You need the sizzle, baby. You need the sizzle. Well, James, what's the sizzle? Well, in CERN. I mean, are you talking about the opening ceremony? No, but that's pretty sizzly. It's some damn good stuff for sure. That opening ceremony has its own beautiful marks, which we've already covered. When I'm talking about beautiful, I'm talking about if you were to like psychopathically look at what's the best thing that they could do to really fuck with your head. What would push you into this dimension more than knowing just how desperate we need one because there's a freaking goat god humping white virgins in the middle of daylight. How do we sell CERN as a time machine? Because if people believe this is a time machine, we're going to be able to bring God through this freaking portal. We're going to be able to bring Jesus through this portal. Excuse me. Why? Because it's a time machine. So how do we sell that, James? How do you sell? You just going to tell them that the science works? No. This is wrestling. We need a hook. We need a vessel, just like silver, right? Just like silver. You guys thought I wasn't going to talk about silver. Just like silver, you need a vessel to hold your spell. And what's that vessel? Bam! Baron von Trump. Baron von Trump. Baron Trump's marvelous underground Baron Trump novels. The Baron Trump novels are two children's novels written in 1889 and 1893 by the American author and lawyer Ingersoll Lockwood. They remained obscure until when, guys? When did they come into the visual spectrum? In 2017, when they received media attention for perceived similarities with President Donald Trump. That's how you sell a time machine. It's just that easy. And if any of you, in fact, I'm sorry, before I even get there, let's go back because I just saw something on that Wikipedia page. Wikipedia is such a freaking plant. Am I right, guys? I mean, it's such a freaking plant for this shit. It's so easy to see because you just go to Wikipedia. The novels were part of a trend in American children's literature that corresponds to the demand for fantastic adventure. The novels were part of a trend in American children's literature, or the children, that responded to the demand for fantastic adventure stories, Billionaire Pedophile, Tropical Island, George Clooney, Blowjob, Satanic Temple, triggered by Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland. Gee, Alice in Wonderland is listed right here on Wikipedia. It's almost like someone was trying to link those two maybe like a few years ago, maybe in 2017. How do you sell a time machine? You dig a big asshole. You tell everybody that special relativity is real, and you pretend to throw particles that no one can see, not even the assholes running the machine. They can't see it. Guys, I've been on an aircraft carrier. You don't understand what happens when you get into a building that big. When you enter into an organization that large, it swallows you whole. You become an ant in Sector 4, Room 16, Level B. And you will spend your whole life mastering that level, that space. And you will walk out and you will tell everyone, I am an expert of the aircraft carrier. I am an expert at NASA. I am an expert at CERN. And you would be right. You would not be lying. You would not have a secret agenda that you're keeping from me. You're just doing your job. You'd be good at your job. You'd have certificates. You'd have letters of commendation. You'd have all that, and you would never be lying. And you could work at CERN your whole life, and 5 motherfuckers could be the ones that were at the top of all this. When I was in an aircraft carrier, there were levels you didn't even go to. That's how big it was. And what's interesting about this is the tree of life. This is the Sephiroth. I probably pronounced that wrong. Some of you guys who know that better are giggling, and I'm glad you enjoyed that giggle. Laugh at me because I pronounced that wrong, because I bet I did. The Sephiroth, let me show you this. The Sephiroth. It's like, what's that duck guy's name, right? The suffering Sephiroth. I'm actually doing this because I'm trying to find something. So I'm going to suffering Sephiroth. There it is. There's what I'm trying to find right there. Is this guy right here. Okay. Here's how you fuck with a brain, guys. Here's how you do it. Thanks for watching. Here's how you do it. You have a complex system that is so complex that one could spend their entire life in one Sephiroth. And that's what Kabbalah is. That's what Kabbalism is. It is a system that gets you lost in the details. It is, drum roll, a looking glass. Promises are made on the other side of the tree of life that pull you in to the tree of life, and you emerge on the other side. Now you live in 2 dimensions. You have the dimension of here, the quote, quote, false reality, as we call it. And then you have the real, spiritual, higher realm of the Sephiroth. This is the looking glass program. This is how the Judaic tree, the Abrahamic tree, sprouted and grew. It's based off this principle of getting lost in the Sephiroth. Lost. I'm going to bring this up again. Some of you guys have seen this before, and I just want you to know, I feel your pain, but there are others here who need to see this right now. The tree of life is a Kabbalistic spell. Kabbalah is getting lost in the fine details of something to the point to where it disassociates and splits the mind. You fall into your quest for answers. What do you see? What you see here, guys, follow the white rabbit. This is the looking glass. This is the Kabbalistic looking glass that will keep you invested in the Sephiroth. And you will run through this maze just like Alice runs through the looking glass, looking for answers. God, I hope some of you guys are feeling me right now, because I'm telling you, this is the fucking way it works. This is black magic at its fucking best. God, I hope you guys feel what I'm saying here. Because you'll get in this map and you'll get lost. You'll spend your entire life looking just at Pindar and the Merovingian bloodline. Why did Q tell you who is P? Why didn't the asswipe just say who is Pindar, or who is Pessia, or who is the Pope, or whatever the fuck? Why? Because Q needs you inside the looking glass. Fuck, I hope you guys see this. I really hope you guys understand this. Black magic is real. And you're going to feel it when it's on. You're going to feel it when it's working. And I am a living example of this, because I went through this whole map like a freaking badass hunter. I ran through this like a jungle, like a forest, whatever you want to call it. I looked at all this stuff. I could still be looking at it. I could still be in there. And so many of us are. And when they're in there and I yell, hey, get the fuck out of there, everyone just turns around and is like, fuck you, man. You know, you're too asleep. This is cleavage split. This right here will split your cleavage. And it'll split it so bad that it could take your life. I think this is the kind of black magic that cost Tracy Twyman her life. We can talk about that later. But this is how. You start to dig so deep, you can't stop. Why? Because you keep investing too much in it. Praying Medic keeps investing so much in Q, he can't stop. He has to tell you about Looking Glass because he needs you to keep going. Because if you stop and turn around, he's going to freak the fuck out. Because he does not have enough ego to admit he's wrong. He's bought into the idea that he needs less ego, which makes him a fucking puppet, a machine. God, I hope you guys feel that. This is how the black magic works. It requires a low ego. It requires dissonance. It requires all of these lies to set the cleavage marks in the stone. Boo, 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 split. And the whole thing splits. This is how you do it. And it doesn't have to work on you. It can work on your kids. It can work on your grandkids. It doesn't matter. They have all the time in the world. They've been at this for 5,000 years. I'm not joking when I tell you that. I think they've been at it longer. A lot of you guys are like, James, it's been longer. I can't sell that to anybody because I don't have proof. The only proof I have is that the patriarchs of Judaism, of Christianity, and of Islam are all three buried in the same cave. And when you bury bones, there's some kind of technology to it that I'm still studying but you can haunt things with bones. Look at the Old Testament. I'm not making this shit up. They say in Scooby-Doo, oh, it's all haunted, so you'll think it's just fake. Bone technology is real. Bone technology is real. We tap into our ancestors when we stand above their grave. We pull energy up from the soil. That proves to you guys it works. Bone technology works, and it's part of this spell of dimensionality, because they're not just going for you. They want your freaking DNA chain. They want the whole chain locked in this spell where you think you're one of a bazillion dimensions. Think how powerful your power of belief is going to be when you don't even know the dimension that you're currently in is the real one. When you have to log on to the internet and you start to think, because in the future, your kids and your grandkids are going to think that different domain names are different dimensions. God, I hope you guys are understanding that. This is so easy if you do the math here and just understand. This is exactly how it would work so well and so easily. Black magic is real. It is rooted in psychopathy and blackmail. We've covered this, right? People aren't blackmailing each other just because it's evil. It's practical. It's how you do business. It's how you get the job done. CERN is not a giant lie bigger than all the rest. Okay, size-wise, like size, the actual size itself is bigger. But it's no bigger than World War II. It's no bigger than 9/11. Most people are going to fall for this because most people believe in nukes. Last night, I uncovered that the Smith-Moon Act was enacted in January of 1945. And Hiroshima and Nagasaki were reported as nuclear bombs dropped in August 6th and August 9th of 1945. Since January of 1945, our government has been plotting how they can lie to us legally. This doesn't even require them to be evil. They're literally, at this point, just doing their job. That's why I'm telling you, most are going to fall for this, guys. Look at how many calories I'm having to burn just to explain that the temple wasn't a temple, that it was an old utility building painted to look like a temple. I'm still haven't convinced them. When I pasted this morning my QAnon stuff from last night on Facebook, my post was immediately deleted from 3 Q groups. The rest of them laughed. I don't mean that to be like, oh, poor me, but I'm saying it shows you the mind control, because when I post all this evidence about how Q is Steve Bannon, all I get is the laughs and the little laughing emoticon, because they want to ridicule and they don't want anyone else reading it. It's all they can do. And then one lady comes on, her name's Carolee, and I'm saying her name because we should be responsible for what we're going to fucking tell people. She comes online and tells everybody, I have a friend who works in Washington, D.C., and he told me who Q is, and it's not Steve Bannon. And they were so desperate to go, way to go, Carolee, you tell him. That now another liar emerges inside their little circle. Another messiah of lies is able to emerge and go, aha, an opportunity. James wasn't hurting the truth. He was giving me an opportunity to frickin' nail it again. This is why I'm saying most of us are not going to make it through this. Most of us are going to fall through the looking glass. Most people believe in Apollo 11. Most people believe in nuclear weapons. Most people believe in box cutters at 9/11. Most people believe in CERN. This is Project Bluebeam. It's exactly what William Cooper was worried about. And it doesn't have to be an alien invasion. It could still involve one, but it'll be a time dimensional one. And it's the dimensional aspect of it that'll make it that'll automatically gift your authority, all of our authority to it. Because they'll be like, oh, well, dude, he outranks me by 4 dimensions. What are you going to do? I mean, come on. 7-dimensional being. Hey, hello, 3-dimensional being here. Don't have the authority. It's a secret society all over again, isn't it? Now we're in dimensions. Now reptilians are just as equal as man. Just like when I warned you the other day, you will know, for anyone who's in denial, you will know that the machine is here when you are standing in line behind a machine who's buying groceries for a human somewhere else. You will know when you're in traffic and you're behind a vehicle that has no human inside of it. And you look ahead and there's 4 more in front of it. Only then will you know, oh my God, I've been reduced to the same level of machine. Only then will this really start to sink in for the rest of us. Until then, though, so many of us get it. I got to show you this graphic. Man, I love this guy. The guys, I freaking love you. All of you on Twitter. You throw this stuff out and it's just like, boom. Look at this. The looking glass self. Developed by American psychologist Charles Horton Cooley in late 1800s. Sees socialization as an interactive process through which we develop an image of ourselves based on how we imagine we appear to others. Other people act as a mirror by reflecting back the image we project through their reactions, our behavior. This is how the looking glass self works. This is not new stuff. It's funny because when I first got into magic, like when I was in the 20s, I had decided that a mirror was a magical item and I carried it in my medicine bag, a mirror. And I realized, well, wait a minute. You can tell if someone's a vampire because you won't see their reflection. You can reflect someone, like if someone's being an asshole. Sometimes I would like hold that mirror up and go, see this? I didn't have to call them an asshole. I just would see this. And then instantly they're just like, then all of a sudden they can help it. Now they're looking at their behavior. It's amazing. You guys should try it. It's a freaking killer spell. Seriously. Just wait. You got to find a nice small mirror, something that's cute, something that's easy to carry around, right? And what I had was, those kind of like slightly bulbous round ones that people stick on their rearview mirror. And I found one of those and I was like, wow, it's a magic item. Fucking badass. And when someone's being an asshole, I only did it once, but man, I talked about it a lot more than I did. I'm talking about it now. But anyway, just hold it right up to him. Go, look at that. You don't have to say you're being an asshole. In fact, you don't have to do it because guess what? They're through the looking glass. They're seeing you. This is very, very magical stuff. Psychology. 99% of magic is psychology. I'm sorry, 100% of magic is psychology. Forgive me. I had to check my math there. This is how black magic works. This is why there's psychopathy. This is why there's blackmail. You have to have this stuff to work. You see, dimensionality itself is the psyop. And I was telling you guys about this last year. Look at this, September 15th. I was telling you guys about Jordan Sather wants you to be splintered into 10 dimensions now. Now they're talking about exploding the metaverse, where every single step you take, you're getting smaller. You're becoming more fractionalized. You're literally training your alter psychology to fit whatever it is someone else wants to fit. You fall into this psyop of dualism. This is a great thread. I'm not going to make you read it all, but it's basically, I start from the top. I give good threads sometimes. I just want to point that out. But I told the story of the reptilian space pope, something we won't talk about now, but it's the same idea. Talked about how Space Force itself is causing you to still believe in this idea. Guys, a plane has to go faster and faster and faster to get higher and higher and higher. At some point in time, that plane's not going to be able to go fast enough. It can't get traction because there's no atmosphere. If you don't have atmosphere, you don't have traction. You can't go to the moon. You can't. We don't even know if the moon's something we can walk on. We don't even know that. That bitch could be plasma. Bitch in an endearing way. Unless it's like a reincarnation machine, then fuck that place. All of this dimensionality. Remember when Chris Hader Hatfield, I mean. Remember when that guy posted a photo on the ISS with a bullet hole, saying, "Oh my God, we had a bullet hole. Or actually just called it a hole. We had to fix it with duct tape." He fixed a perfect vacuum in space with duct tape. Fucking asshole. Then it turns out that's an album cover. The dude posted an image of an album cover. If you trace this album cover back, you'll see it's from 20 years ago. The guy's posting old photos, claiming they're bullet holes in space that he fixed with duct tape. Fucking duct tape. Oh, shithead. This isn't NASA, it's NASA is what it is. NASA. This is all about just breaking you down, man. It wants you to think you're right there. That's it. That's what it wants you to think. You see how big you are according to them? Look at how tiny you are. That's what they want you to think. You're a whiplash. That's what you are. You're living on a cosmic whiplash. Man, no one's thinking about you. Not only that, but you live in 10 dimensions and you only see 3 of them. No idea how much dark matter is all around you, how much dark energy is all around you. And you know what's weird? Is that I'm the one who gets called a black pillar, and I'm the only one out there telling everybody dark matter and dark energy is bullshit. I'm not the only one. Some of you guys do the same. Thank you. Truth is a calorie burner, guys. It's an emotional calorie burner. This is your home. You are here. That's where you are. Don't buy into this bullshit. This is CERN. It's the same thing. It's dimensionality. Hollywood is the eye of fame. The Vatican is the eye of shame. One tells you you're huge. The other tells you you're tiny. Gnosis sees the wizard behind the veil. Truth will always be perceived directly through the senses. Lies will always come at you anonymously. Do you see how this is the same spell of CERN? The universe is made of 74% dark energy, 21% dark matter, and 4% normal matter. I know because I'm a physicist. I'm Neil deGrasse Tyson, bitch. It's the Mad Hatter, isn't it? Or that crazy ass queen, whichever, right? Or some dude smoking, a caterpillar smoking shit on a mushroom. None of those are real. They're pushing you through the looking glass with all this bullshit. Meanwhile, it's an electric universe, guys. It's not even a guess. It's an electric universe. Do you understand what gravity really is? Gravity is love. Let me just adjust my leg here. Sorry to keep moving on the camera. Gravity is love. This place loves you. It loves you so much. When you jump, it's like, oh, where are you going? Where are you going? That's love. Gravity is love. That's why we can't explain it. That's why there's no law that points to it. That's why there's no tangible way to even consider it in the physical world, because it's love. And the flat plane loves you. And it loves you so much, it's going to hold the entire world still for you. So you have a place to play. It's giving you stability, like a good man in your life. It's giving you stability. It's giving you that base to build on. Gravity is love. This place loves you. Children orbit their mom because of love. Men orbit women that they love. We orbit truth that we love. This dimension stuff is here to tear you apart. It's here to turn a vacuum on. Shove it right up your keister and just suck all the prana right out of you, like an enema for your energy. The Big Bang is flawed, guys. This model, where we've got this idea where one star is feeding another star, man, Halton Arp's got 360 of these clusters stored in a book called The Strange Collection of Peculiar Galaxies. And every one of them disproves redshift. Meanwhile, not one person has explained cosmic homogeny. How you can have a Big Bang, yet everything still be congruently spread out evenly after this massive cataclysm. It's a complete bullshit theory. And it needs that, so you'll buy the next theory, and the next theory, and the next theory. We are surrounded by liars, and they're around us so much that we're starting to lose track. We're following these guys, and we're shitting on these guys. Tesla said, I don't care that they stole my idea. I care that they don't have any of their own. And why would psychopaths who were super rich, ability to control all these things, why would they lack creativity? And you know why. Because they're evacuated. They've evacuated themselves to it. They're not home. That's what makes it easy to lie. That's what makes it possible. How you guys doing? Oh, someone gave me a super chat. I'm so excited. Thank you. Thank you. Eagle Eyes says, wait a minute, let me get the bell. Do you feel the Kabuki Theater mass MK psyops are a distraction for the IoT rollout? Thank you. Yes, I do. I think that you're seeing a multi-part rollout. And what I'm talking about tonight is really just one aspect of that. There are so many. Brian Barrios, the looking glass is the keystone. I could not agree more. And I hope that you guys are kind of feeling why I'm saying this is going to be really hard to recover from. Most of us are not going to want to recover from this. Most of us are going to want to just buy it. Just making sure I didn't miss any other super chats. Thanks for the super chats, guys. I appreciate that. Because I lost a lot of followers today over this QAnon stuff. I mean, obviously they don't matter that much because they're just going to lose anyway. But you have to burn. This is why Praying Manic and Jordan Sather and fuck all the assholes. There's too many of them. This is why they don't do that, because they know what happens. They know what happens to me this morning when I say, here's why QAnon, C-band is QAnon. They know what's going to happen from that. I have the exact same followers today as I did in April. April's when I first realized Steve Bannon was QAnon. Now, some of you guys are like, why the fuck do you care about followers? Because I spend so much time researching that I don't have a job and I can't even hold a job. I used to be a programmer. I used to be a programmer for a company called Mahalo. Kick-ass company. Great people. I have no beef with them at all. I think they're just freaking fabulous. And I worked for them for like 10 years, but they're based out of San Francisco, guys. And when you're based out of San Francisco, you can't be having a dude like me out there saying stuff. I become a liability. No. Digital. Let me make sure I'm off there because it took me off. If you go back in the Wayback Machine, you'll see I didn't always used to be off of here. I almost feel bad that I'm even showing their stuff right now. But actually it's good because they cleaned me out. They made sure that I was no longer on their team. I did that for 10 years. This is probably boring, guys. I thought maybe I could just pull this up super easy. There. These are beautiful people. I love all these guys. I mean, really, I know them all. Maybe like one or two, I'm kind of like, eh. Oh, wait, now I'm back on there. The point is that I don't get work for them anymore. And it's because they look at some of the shit I write and they're like, holy shit, there's no way. These guys are in San Francisco, California. They are in the belly of the beast. Anyway, so thanks for the super chats. And thanks for buying the book. The book's doing great. I should actually probably push that though, because people don't link this book. Blueprints of Mind Control. This is probably my most popular book. And then I have Technology of Belief. It just came out. It's outlining this prana economy. It's outlining why it's so important that they get that. Sorry for the commercial. I'm feeling bad for giving commercials here. I realize you guys' time is just as valuable as mine. So thank you for that. There's too many comments. I am wearing pants today. Thanks, Snake. I'm also wearing underwear. Hi, Beth. I wanted to text you, but I only know I'm going live 2 minutes before. It's just how, otherwise I wouldn't go online. I don't feel comfortable doing this. I'd rather be a writer. That's why I work so hard to write. I'm probably more. Hi, James. Missed you last night. RX Picture Show is a great show, guys. I encourage you to look at it. I streamed last night because they were offline. Normally I would never jump on their stream. Why? Because I'm too busy in the chat. There's some amazing people in there. You were blacklisted too, Eagle Eyes. I hear you, man. You could find my books at jtrue.com, jtrue.com. And if you don't have any of my books, if you don't mind, I will tell you this. I really recommend Blueprints of Mind Control first. It's because you need to understand ego. You have to understand how they use ego against you. Because once you understand that, it's going to allow you to see things a lot clearer. So there's a link in here if anyone does want to jump on there and look. If you get it from my site, I'll sign it if that means anything to anybody. I can't agree that Q is many because only one person knows the plan. You can't say that everyone is a part of Q until everyone understands what the plan is. And the plan could literally be Zionism. In fact, I'm really convinced that the plan is Zionism. Why would it not be? Guys, you can't boycott Israel in 37 states. 37 states is a felony to say, I would like to stand against the genocide that's happening in Israel right now, and therefore I would like for our government to boycott Israel. You can't do that in 37 states. That's why it's so surprising when people are so shocked that I bring up Zionism. They're like, well, why do you think that? And it's like, why do you not think that? Why do you not think that? Do you know how many dual citizens are in Congress right now? It's not 4. It's not 6. I'm going to get this wrong, but it's like 23. It's a very large number. It's not 23, I bet, but it's very large. It's at least 24, if not more. And I bet you I'm exactly right that it's 37 states you cannot boycott Israel. You cannot boycott a country that's committing genocide right now. I'm bobbling my head because I really want you to understand that. That's fucked up. That is wrong. Wrong. We should be able to boycott anybody. Any state should be able to say, I would like to boycott New Zealand. Why? Because they fucking spell their name with a Z. That's why. It's like, well, we should vote. Well, he's right. We do spell it with a Z. That should be allowed. It's so wrong. And it is wrong. I'm not even going to say this because it's going to spoil the whole stream, but you guys know what I'm getting ready to say. You know it because you're humans and you emote. And some of you guys are right on and you're like, yeah, James, I know what you were going to say. And maybe some of you are like, you should say it anyway. I'm actually not right now because you already know it and it could ruin this whole stream. And I'd rather this all be in there. This entire Q thing not only could be Zionism, but it's really impossible for it not to be Zionism. It is impossible for QAnon to be anyone else but Steve Bannon. No one else has the experience. No one else would be so bold. General Flynn would not say, get me a picture of that fake temple, but make sure it's at the right angle to where the faux paint job looks like it's real so we can post that on the Q board. General Flynn doesn't do that. He wouldn't understand that. You know who would understand that? Someone who's been in the newspaper business. Someone who produced a film called Clinton Cash and knows that you gotta fucking bring the spice, baby. Pow! That you gotta throw that shit down. Sorry, Wiley, it's okay. That you got to bring it, man. That's why Steve Bannon lies. He wasn't taking chances. Steve Bannon was showing you his signature. He was showing you. And do you guys know how last night I talked about all these different blackmail programs, right? Where you have like a front side piece. For example, Trump doing the 9/11 CERN commercial is like the front side, but then on the back, he's saying what really happened. The painting of Epstein, Epstein's painting of Bill Clinton in the blue dress is the front side, but then behind it is an actual photograph. You guys remember that, right? Damn, I lost my point. It's like just talking about. It's the first time it's happened. I get so worked up though when I see these guys. I was going to pull something up out of my downloads. Sorry for the quiet time. I was really hoping I would remember where I just was. I can't. I can't. It is Bannon style. It was something about Bannon, that's for sure. You have to understand it's Bannon. And you have to understand that this is how it works. This is how you sell a story. You're going to have to make shit up like that. Otherwise, people won't watch. And when you take a break, I know what I was going to pull up. I know exactly what I was going to pull up. Guys, thank you for being with me on this. And I really appreciate this. This is a weird thing to get used to. And thanks for being here with me. So I was telling you that stuff about Epstein, about the painting, about the CERN 9/11 commercial. These are blackmail insurance policies. The exact same thing happened with Steve Bannon, but a little bit different. What I mean is that because these are psyops that no one gets credit for. See, Steve Bannon is never going to get credit for QAnon. That would the Smith-Moon Act protects him, but he still could never be the person at the front. It would destroy the entire psyop if people knew that Steve Bannon is Q. But Steve really wants credit as that. He needs something, just like you would walk around with an actual photo of Bill Clinton. I mean, you walk around with a painting, you would keep that painting out of Bill Clinton. Steve Bannon needs something that he can show, this is my signature. I'm the one that did this. This is what Aleister Crowley did when he drew Lim. He was showing, I have an idea that we can do an alien invasion project Bluebeam. He was taking credit for that by being the first person to draw that. Well, look what Steve Bannon did. Would you look at this? Would you look at this? This is right after Q closed. This was actually a month after. It got so bad with people giving me shit that I just quit talking about Bannon altogether. It was just too, it was unproductive is why. I don't mind the pushback, but when it's unproductive, I just usually stop because it's like, I'm not gaining ground here. I'm not here to be right. I'm here to change minds. I am an alchemist, motherfucker, for other people. I am an alchemical chiropractor. And you do not have an appointment with me. I will come up to you behind you and I will adjust your ass. Why? Because I want sovereignty. And if your back's not straight, you're going to think everyone's back shouldn't be straight. And I need your back straight. I need your shit straight. If everyone's back was straight, you guys wouldn't see me. I'd probably be underwater, actually. I'd probably be like doing marine swimming with fishes and stuff. It's probably what I'd be doing. But since I'm stuck on land, you're stuck with me. And all you fuckers are going to stand up straight. Because the straighter you stand, the straighter I get to stand. And I need you guys standing straight. It's already bad enough that I have to stop all you guys from flogging yourself over how shitty ego is or how bad pride is. It's freaking pathetic. You're a human being. You're the most amazing creation that's ever been made. You've got 6 trillion blood cells. Each of them are saying, I am. They are vibrating your motherfucking song because it's you. It's you that they serve. And you are so important that gravity is freaking love. That's how important you are. You're a walking processor that is loved by the soil. And Steve Bannon, I should have turned that off so you didn't have to look at his face when I was giving that little speech there. But Steve Bannon is signing his name. When you guys buy a book from me, I sign it, right? There's my old John Hancock. This is Steve Bannon's signature, guys. And this shows you what a farce media is. I hope you guys are feeling this. Yeah, I really hope it, because this is the truth. Look at this shit. Live, Oracle, Arizona. He's in Oracle, Arizona. That's one. Steve Bannon, former White House chief strategist. Now look at this. Look at this. Look down here. Invesco, QQQ Trust, QQQ, happened to be flowing across the screen. Now, someone's gone over here and done numerology. I don't go that far, but go for it. Look at this. 188 equals 17. That's a Q. 7 plus 0 plus 1 plus 4 plus 5, 17. That's a Q. That's how a magician signs a painting, guys. That's how a magician signs a psyop. He wants to show his grandkids without anyone believing he's just telling a tall story. No one can tie him to it directly, but that's how he signs it. That's how you sign magic. That's how you own it. This is his grand masterpiece. I guarantee you, the most proudest moment in Steve Bannon's life is QAnon. And he will go down in history as a fucking genius. CEO of Trump campaign. Got fired, got called Sloppy Steve exactly 1 year after he took the position. Only 10 weeks later to emerge as QAnon, claiming that QAnon will be arrested, that Hillary Clinton will be arrested. Serves Q dutifully for over a year. Then Q dies. And what happens? Trump tells the world that Sloppy Steve is a great guy. He still gets to keep his White House pension. And he signs his name in a television interview that proves to you just how fake news is. It's so fake that they can decide what's going to be run underneath during an interview. Those numbers down there, the stock market, that's Kabbalah too, isn't it, guys? Isn't that the same form of Kabbalah that gets you lost? Get lost in that map again? Busy cows are predictable cows, aren't they? How you guys doing? I don't know the significance of choosing the letter Q. When I say I don't know, I can give you like 4 or 5 different things I've heard about, but I don't know. Some say it's Q is in Kabbalah. Kabbalah is spelled with a Q. So it's kind of like a modern day version of Kabbalah, but with a Q. I think we should say that. That's what it is. Yeah, COINTELPRO, just the modern day version of it. You guys agree with me? Does anyone agree with this? I'm not saying that I should only be agreed with, but come on, man. I mean, you got to feel that. You got to understand that's how it works. Why would it not work that way? Like, how else could it work, really? Because if you go ahead, if you go to bed tonight feeling that CERN can break dimensions and that people can come from the past to the future and the future to the past, that literally means every single thing that you've ever been told about anything ever can be tainted by a time machine. And I would like for us all to be quiet here a second and ask and listen and listen. Would God do that? Would God allow time itself to become a dimensionality? Because I think that's like a really shitty thing to do. I think that it would be equivalent to when my mom hosted soccer and she would see her little boy Jimmy out on the field scoring a goal against his own team. I ran the ball, I caught it midfield, I ran it back against my own players. I passed my best friend's Happy Craft. That was his name, Happy Craft. I passed him. Why would he stop me? He was like, oh, James has an appointment or something. Ran right up to the goalie. The goalie's looking at me like, what are you doing? And I score a goal. I score a goal on my own team. And you know what my mom did? Nothing. I mean, sure, she was yelling. I'm sure she was yelling, you're going the wrong way. And what I hear is, she's telling me I'm doing a great job. My mom is cheering for me right now. She's cheering for me because she encourages me and she believes that I have the ability to score a goal. That's what I thought she was saying. And she didn't mess it up. She didn't run on the field and stop and say, whoa, 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 whoa. You're going the wrong way. This is your field, James. That's what she said instead. This is your game. If you want to score a goal on yourself, you're going to do that. And you're going to feel the brunt of that later when we go for milkshakes at McDonald's. The team is not going to think that you are as funny as you were last Sunday. This is the consequences for the game. God would not fuck that up and run on the field. And then after setting all this up in the middle of the field and fuck it all up and go, oh yeah, you could have just opened a portal to me the whole time by accelerating a particle off a false theory that we sold you in 1905. Listen to the voice of silence. Because he'll tell you they're full of shit, man. Those guys, the same guys that have been lying over and over and over again, are still lying now. They're full of it. The only good government is a government you can see, and a government you can touch, and a government you can taste. And that's why we're looking at localism, folks. We're looking at campfires. We're looking at powwows. We're looking your leaders in the eyes as they walk down the grocery store. I can't believe I'm still talking. You guys still there, huh? This is great. God is good, man. God is awesome. I freaking love God. It's like he's the bomb. Yeah, I wish we were sitting around a real campfire too, Ben. If I can get my campground, man, we will. If I can get my campground, we will. The things we're going to do at this campground. I just got to sell books. Got to sell a lot of books. Yeah, damn right soon. I don't know if there's any questions. If you got questions, you're going to have to type them in all caps. Now I'm telling you this. She probably told you that earlier, right? Oh, someone asked about scripts. Someone had a good question in here about scripts. Yeah. Carolyn, I'm still trying to figure out how it is all scripted. It amazes me. James, who the F are actual script writers? How does it work? It's literally like a soap opera. Yes, that's a great question, and I can answer that. Do you know a real famous script writer? is Al Gore. Al Gore is a fantastic scriptwriter, and he wasn't hired. Al Gore wrote his own script. Al Gore saw a bunch of black magicians and said, I don't mean like, black, a bunch of psychotic magicians and said, I want to be one of them. How do I be one of them? He goes, oh, okay, I need to create a shame vortex. That's all. If I can create a powerful enough shame vortex, I can make all the other black magicians look at me and realize that I have power too. And so that's what Al Gore did. He went out and he created a shame vortex. And I would like to look for something so I can show you guys kind of a cute little interesting thing that Al Gore did. This is some music while I look around, and I'm looking around, yeah. I'm looking for that article about Al Gore and how he's a douche, yeah. He's a douche, yeah. He's a douche. He's a scumbag, douchebag, yeah. He's a douche. He's a douche. Al Gore is a scumbag, yeah. Okay. Al Gore is a black magic magician who writes his own scripts, and I can prove it. I just got through telling you about how he needed to create a shame vortex. And through that shame vortex, he can extract money, guilt, fame, everything he's already extracted. And he has to sign it. He wants to put a signature on that where people know it's him and where people can look at his work and go, you are a talented black magician. Because that's what they do. They sit around and jack off in front of each other. So of course they're going to try and be impressed with each other. These guys laid in a coffin and jacked off to each other. That's what they freaking do. Look at this, guys. Boom. Boom. What is the green movement? Look inside the green movement, guys. What do you see but a pyramid scheme built off shame? This meme, I don't understand why people don't share my memes, but I'm proud as fuck of this meme and no one shared it. But scarcity is an energy, a frequency, and a vibration. And if you can provide a scarcity on something, you have now created a new vortex. You've created a vent at the bottom of the ocean, right? Those heat vents, and other fish can come there and feed because of the vortex. And that's what Al Gore did. That's what he did with the spell of the green movement, global warming, recycling. And look, the pyramid's right there, man. It's freaking right there. Not only is this a pyramid, but this is a trilateral commission nod too. Al Gore is a freaking pro when it comes to script writing. What Carolyn's getting at is, James, do these guys coordinate? And the answer is no, they don't have to. They could coordinate, but they don't have to. Well, how does that work? Because of archetypes. The entire world could be destroyed over and over and over again, 6,000 times. The entire world could be destroyed. We could have a deluge, we could be reset, we could rebuild culture, and every single time, if there was a humanoid that roughly resembled us, red shoes would be an archetype. Every time it would emerge as the same. Because it's a function of what? It's a function of fashion, and it's a function of footwear. There are certain just aspects of it that would mean blue shoes would never have the same connotation as red. Do you follow what I'm saying? Would never have the same kind of the trauma of walking through puddles of blood is a ritual that you do not emerge the other side the same person. You are a different person then. You are entrained into a secret society of others who do the same. So there doesn't have to be a master plan, because what ends up happening is that everyone's creating their own plan, and the dude who makes the biggest plan first is the dude who's on top. Satan is not a creature. Satan is a title. Satan is a golden cup that you take home every year from the grand finale. David Rockefeller is the last known Satan, human vessel. I personally give him credit for 9/11. Now, he set up a pillage, okay? This is old school, typical village pillage. How does that work? David's on his horse. He's outside of Rock Ridge. He's like, I'd like to go rape me some ladies. Actually, he was probably like, I'd like to go rape me some men, some young men, some boys. How do I get in that village and rape people without getting in trouble? I make a phone call. Now, back then in the West, horses had cell phones. And so it's in the horn of the saddle. If you didn't know that, you kind of spin the saddle horn open and he pulls out his cell phone. He's like, hey, we need some bad guys over here, stat. They all show up at the campfire. They're like, hey, what'd you call us for, Dave? He's like, we're going to have a pillage. Next Sunday, all of us are going to attack Rock Ridge at the same time. And all of you guys can do whatever you want. I only ask one favor. I get the school. I get to go there. You guys can have whatever else you want. We'll coordinate all this stuff. And all the bad guys are like, man, that's a good idea. It's like looting, right? Yeah, it's like looting. If there's a storm and one person breaks into Circuit City and steals a television, that guy's going to get caught, right? But what if there were 30 people? Are you going to get caught? What if you're a pillar of the community and while 30 people are robbing the store, you rob the bank next door? Are you going to get caught? Or is insurance going to pay for it? Think about the pillage. Guys, we don't understand how deep that pillage went. We only see little peaks of it, like 4 billion to Silverstein and Building 7. We only see the all the gold underneath the Trade Center. We only see the 2.3 trillion missing from Rumsfeld. And I'm using the word only. We only see those. Those are the only ones we see. Meanwhile, what's underneath it? Deep, deep, deep shit. Deep pillaging shit. Enron shit. Long-term mortgage crisis. Financial. Just deep, deep pillage. And when you pillage, when you come into Rock Ridge and you literally fuck every hole you can find, you leave that town and there is not a normal person in that town ever again. Ever. And that's why it's so insane that there are people walking around calling me or us negative for saying things like, if we fix Washington now, what's going to stop this from happening again in 4 more years? What magical thing happened between Bush, Clinton, Obama, and Trump? What was the magical war that occurred? Where was the dust cloud? How big was the fallout when the Black Snake was finally defeated? Where was that war? I didn't see it. Did you? Tell you what I did see. I saw a super chat. Thank you. I saw a super chat. Every pillage that we see is built on another pillage, which is built on another pillage, which is built on the last pillage. Some of us have this wrong because they think, oh, he wants to destroy all people and kill everyone on the planet. No. They like what they did to Rock Ridge. They want Rock Ridge to have babies. Why? Because their babies are going to be that much easier. They're going to be that much easier. That $20 was from Viola. This is from your listeners who follow Q. We still love you. That's awesome. Thank you. And I still follow Q too. You saw it. Thank you for that. Thank you. And Snake. Sorry, Wiley. My dogs are like, hey, what's going on? Snake is not wearing pants. And I want you guys to know that if there was anyone in this entire chat that you would want to not wear pants, it would be him. And that's a compliment, buddy. That's a compliment. And it's not even done yet because Beth Martins gave me a super chat. You guys are awesome. Thank you. And there's another super chat. Okay. I hope you guys are like, okay, we're going to have to stop giving him. And another celestial piece, kindling for the campfire. You guys are awesome. I hope I caught everybody. Yeah, I did. Good. Yeah, Al Gore invented the do you realize that algorithm, the fucker did not invent the internet. I invented the internet. I know you guys are like, oh God, he's really slipped. No, I did. Me and about 10 million other geeks invented the internet, and it was Kermit. The first internet was Kermit, and we could log on to each other, and we could go, you want to play D&D? And then you'd wait like 45 minutes, and my friend Hal would type back and go, yeah. And then I'd send him a message, take another 45 minutes. And then my mom comes in going, I need to make a phone call. And I'm like, but my download, I'm in the middle of an important conversation. I'm typing the word wizard. I've only got WIZ going through. That was the internet. They tell you DARPA invented the internet because they want you to think that we need government to invent shit like this. And we don't. We don't. We need each other. That's how we do this. We don't need the government doesn't invent things. The government enslaves things. None of you can tell me here was a government invention, because government is the devoid of soul. I've been in the machine. Guys, the military is a living embodiment of what it's like inside the machine. And until you've lived there, you don't actually understand just how cold it is, just how lifeless it is. And Beth, if you want to know about Satan, you don't picture a hairless, muscled red chest with a tail and the feet of Pan with horns and anger. If you want to know who Satan is, you turn on a wood chipper and you put it outside of school and you just leave. That's what Satan is. Satan is the coldest evacuation for the most insignificant reasons. If Satan was to laugh at you and then abandon you, he would be giving you prana. He would be saying, I accept you. I believe in you. I believe you exist, James. He would be focusing his anger at you as he leaves you to die. That's not evil. That's passionate. Evil is when you're not even, the apathy becomes the instrument of destruction. Evil is when you evacuate yourself. I'll tell you what evil is. There's a book called The People of the Lie by Scott Peck. And in that book, Scott Peck is a clinical psychologist, and he interviews, he did his own anatomy of evil. And he tells the story of this couple. I'll never forget it. This couple has a child. They have two boys. And there's an older boy and a younger boy. And one of them found a handgun. It was loaded. Excuse me. And he shoots himself. An accident. He was young. He was playing with it. He shot himself. His parents were so evacuated. Just how evil they are. They kept the gun. And 5 years later, on the little brother's birthday, They give him a present. He opens the present, and it's the gun that killed his brother. And they weren't doing it to be cruel. Scott Peck explained. They weren't doing this to be cruel. They weren't doing this to be mean. They weren't doing this to punish the child. In their mind, they thought that was a nice thing to do. They had evacuated their empathy so bad. That's evil. Satan is a machine. It's not a living creature. Satan is a train that runs on our evacuation. And most of us don't want to accept that we are the harbinger of Satan, that our apathy, that our delegation is really the source of evil. And some of you guys don't like that. And I don't blame you. I don't like it either. But what happens when you delegate? To delegate is to abandon. And our society teaches us that to delegate is responsible. Our society teaches us that it's because you care that you delegate. That's why you delegate your vaccine decisions to your doctor. That's why you delegate your education decisions to a central board. That's why you delegate CPS, Child Protective Services, to a committee. That's why you delegate your sense of justice to a police force. That's why you delegate your civil disagreements to a court, a ball. That's why you delegate your own personal rights when you try and get on a plane so we can kill terrorists. Delegation is the source of all evil, every single part. Because if you would not delegate, you would be there. And you would be like, what did you just fucking tell my kid, Mrs. Gillette? What did you just fucking say? Well, I told him his ego was too big and he needs to sit his ass down. And if he doesn't put his commas in the right place, he didn't memorize the poem right. Delegation makes that happen. It causes that spell to enter the head. It's only through delegation. Miss Gillette would never treat her kid like that. Never. But she'll treat your kid like that. And it's not because she's evil. Miss Gillette wasn't evil. She's fucking creepy. She failed me. She failed me for English. The bitch wanted to hold me back. Junior year, I got really depressed. Oh, God, I got so depressed. This girl. Oh, it's always a girl. Anyway, I was failed high school because of Miss Gillette. And it was over commas. It's like I love poetry. I memorized every word, but I didn't memorize the commas. I didn't know you didn't tell me to go home and memorize the commas. What the fuck's wrong with you, lady? Anyway, I probably had some behavioral problems I'm not really telling you guys about right now. The point is that evil is delegation. You delegate your food choices, right? To central corporations to pick what's going to go in that food, right? You delegate the militia. You aren't even your own militia. You know what? If we were running our government, you know what I would do? I would make fucking Snake Jones our general. The fucker would be the general and be like, he's the red chief. The Iroquois Confederacy, there are two chiefs. There's a white chief and a red chief, okay? Red chief's the war chief, white chief's the peace chief. And then we'd have a den mother. She'd be the one that picks which chief is in charge right now. She's the one that decides, are we at war or are we at peace? And if it's time for war, we'd be like, Snake, can you help us out? It was the Trinity. And no one there was delegating, were they? Everyone was tied into the responsibility of this. The red chief was focused only on war. The white chief was focused only on peace. It was the mother of the clan that decided which one to relinquish, which one to open up. When we delegate our government, we lose it. We delegate our freedom, we lose it. We delegate our sense of fairness, we lose it. When we delegate our education, we don't get one. When we delegate our health, we don't get it. When we delegate our food, we don't feel nourished. When we delegate our spirituality, we end up feeling like we're going to hell. So if you want to know what Satan is, it's evacuation. It's a black hole. And things can spin around it over and over and over again. Comma, 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 chameleon. That's funny. That's funny. Sound great. All right, guys. I can't think of anything else unless I just wanted to. Yeah, it's probably good. We've been on here a while, I guess. I don't even know when I started, actually. I have no idea. It feels like I started a minute ago. But I hope I covered this Project Looking Glass stuff, guys. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And if any of you consider me as maybe giving some suggestions for things that you could be focused on, I would like to encourage you all to please consider the idea that we all share one dimension. We live in one reality. And that this idea that there are 10 dimensions and that we are talking through time portals is fucking bullshit. Not only is it bullshit, but it's taking away the preciousness of time. Think how precious time is. Please think how precious time is. Imagine all of a sudden, if in one day, because of one fucking Q post, you now think that you're going to be able to go back to when you were 7 years old and violate that moment in your mind. Do you understand how that takes away how precious it is? It takes away the precious nature of time. It turns it into something trivial. It makes it okay to dimensionally shift out of there and be like, screw that. So please, if you're looking for anything like, what can I do, James? Stand up for the dimensions. Call out the bullshit about the looking glass. Don't fall for the trap of multi-dimensions. Love your ego. Defend your ego. It is your freaking force field. And if you lose that ego, you're going to turn into praying medic and you're going to start lying. You're going to start saying, whatever you guys want to hear, just tell me I'm right. Keep your ego strong. That is your love, man. That is your gravity. That is your gravity. We're going to lose a lot of people in this looking glass, guys. That's not me being negative. I'm just telling you, we're going to lose a lot of people. You need to stay in the pocket. Truth burns fucking calories. It requires a lot of work. You're going to have to pick your battles. I pick mine every day. One of my good friends, Maddie, that posts just amazing stuff. He's always just hard, just boom, boom, boom. And I pull back a lot. And I feel bad because he sees me not shooting where he's shooting. But I'm going after a different target. It's just, we each have our own style. So I'm not even saying you guys need to do this. And I'm sorry to keep squiggling around. My legs are getting tired. Defend the ego. Understand you are the most important vessel because you have all the belief inside you. You're such a badass, man. You guys are such badasses. Yeah, brother Maddie's a man. Love you guys. Thank you for being here in this. This is quite a different experiment for me. And I just want to say I'm really thankful. If you want to check out this book, I wish I had the other. It just happens to not be with me. It's over there. The Technology of Belief covers these things. Check out my other live streams. Please share. If you don't mind, I know it's asking, but could you please share? If you go on Twitter, you're going to see, and it's just, they don't want to talk about this stuff. Sebastian, this is lit, James. You should do more often. Well, fuck yeah, I will, man. I will, because I felt that prana. I still feel it. Yeah. I don't want to leave, but I should, because we should leave on a good note. Thank you, guys. I'm going to hit stop on the stream. I'm going to come into chat just to say thank you so much. If I didn't say this enough, please like this video. Be really great. Please share if you think I earned it. Maybe pop onto Twitter or Facebook and say, hey, check this out. That'd be great. Till next time. You guys rock. Freaking love you. Keep it up.